Hey everyone, welcome to another Creative Burst. I'm Lenny Marie, and I'm just so excited that you decided to honor yourself and your artistic spirit by stepping into a 10 to 15 minute art practice where you can learn a fun and easy technique to kickstart your creativity and keep the momentum going so that you want to spend time daily, weekly, nurturing your artistic spirit. That's really the whole purpose of this creative burst session. It's not too long, so really it takes away that excuse that like I don't have time, and it opens up the doors to experiment and play with your art supplies. So blow the dust off of them if you haven't touched them for a while, and get a candle, maybe set your little bubble of creativity up with a cup of coffee or tea, and play some lovely music, and get ready to have some fun during our creative burst where we're gonna paint a little lemon branch. So very simple, think shapes, and fun and easy techniques. All right, let's get started. Well, let's get started. Okay, so I am going to be using some watercolor paper. This particular paper is 100% cotton. It's made by Arches, or Arches, not quite sure how to pronounce it. And I'm using a Princeton watercolor brush that is in the size of a 6 round. I like to use this brush because I can get a wide range of mark making, and I don't have to switch out brushes. I can really just stick with this one, which is really very convenient. I have poured out on my kitchen plate some watercolor, which actually this is a more intensely pigmented watercolor. It's called gouache, and it's by Winsor Newton. I have a primary yellow, primary red, and a primary blue. All the colors that I blend and create from this combination are going to be strictly these three. So I'm demonstrating that you really don't need a lot of different colors, and it's really infinite the amount of hues that you can create with the three primaries. Okay, now focusing on our painting, this is going to be a lemon branch, and I am going to focus on soft oval shapes to create the lemons. I'm using the primary yellow, and I'm gonna make 2 really simple soft ovals with the 6 round brush, and I am going directly paint to the paper, so this is known as wet on dry. So these are nice soft oval shapes. They are not perfect. I am doing a very loose and gestural painting to demonstrate that you don't need to focus on realism or things looking like a photograph. It's really getting the feel of the brush on the paper and the feel of mixing these colors. So I'm going to just do a simple soft curve for the branch and little curves to connect the fruit to that branch. And then I'm gonna make a few more that we can place the leaves on, and this is going to be another fun and easy technique to demonstrate how to do these leaves. So I am using this blue-green that I've mixed up from the yellow and the blue. You just add some water, and you're going to press, drag, and point. Press, drag, and point. And you will do this all over this branch. And it's a wonderful way to get the technique into the muscles in your hand. It's muscle memory. So press, drag, point, press, pull, point. And pretty soon it's going to be like riding your bike and brushing your teeth. The more you do it, the more it gets easier and easier each time. And it's a very meditative brushstroke. It gets you in the zone. Pressure, pull, and point. Pressure, pull, and point. So as you can see, I am using this color, but I'll add a little more water if I want it to be lighter, or a little less water if I want it to be richer or darker. And it's kind of nice to vary the value. It looks really pretty. And let it dry, and we can go back in and add a little more detail towards the end. And if you are impatient and you don't want to wait for it to dry, you can make it dry by grabbing a little blow dryer, running it on low, and blowing it on the painting. But if you're working around it like I am, areas get dry as you're working on other areas, and then you just sort of bop around, kind of test it and see where you can go back in and add more detail. All right, here's the fun part. I am mixing up some blue and red to make a purple. If you look at a color wheel, you can create complementary shadows by looking at the color of the object that you're painting, and you can look directly across, say from yellow on the color wheel, and you'll see directly across is the complementary color, which is purple. And that's what I mixed up here. So I'm using purple as a shadow, or a way to create some volume and some shape. This is a really pretty and I think more realistic, more natural way of creating shadows rather than using gray or black. So the complementary color of yellow is purple. That's why I mixed it up. And I went into the yellow lemons and added some dimension with the complementary purple. All right, so working back over some of these leaves that have dried, I'm going to add some veins with a little darker hue of the same blue-green that I mixed up. And just kind of have a look and see where you want your detail to be. You can make it as detailed as you like, or maybe you prefer to keep it really, really simple. Whatever vibe you're going for, have a look at your painting as you're working on it, and let your artistic spirit tell you what you want to do next. Going back into the purple a little bit and adding just a little richer shadow on the bottom of these lemons. Then I'm going to hit the stem where the little shoots are coming off and adding a little more value. right, so I'm going to go ahead and take some of the yellow and give a little splash to the leaves so that it looks like sunlight is hitting in these areas on the lemons and on the leaves. So letting that yellow just sort of bounce around the way the light would be bouncing around. A little bit of sun-kissedness here, if that's even a phrase. Sun-kissedness. So now I'm sure you're in the zone and you are really enjoying this whole process of playing with a simple palette of the 3 primary colors with very basic shapes, ovals, and creating some leaves using a very simple technique of pressure, pull, and point. And returning to the painting as parts of it dry to add detail. I am so glad that you joined me for this moment of creativity that is all your own. I hope that you created your own little artistic bubble and had a cup of tea or coffee, played some lovely music, maybe lit a candle. And then you can see here, I went back in and pulled up a little bit of the yellow with a paper towel. Just blotted it up so I would have like a nice little hot spot. Sometimes the way the sun or the light hits something that's round, it'll create this almost like as if a flash has hit one side of it. So that's another really easy way to bring some more dimension to the shapes. And then of course, I'm going to go ahead and put my signature. I hope you will too, because this painting is the first of many more for you to enjoy and continue your daily art practice. I am so glad that you joined me today, and I hope that you will continue to keep making your art. I'll see you in the next creative burst. Bye-bye.